and my dear friend, Carol. Thank you so much for coming on, Carol. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I'm very pleased to do this with you, Candice. I think this is really a wonderful enterprise that you've started. I think we need to hear people's stories because we feel we're alone and wonder how we're possibly going to make anything out of these paths. And then to hear somebody else do it, it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, and there's a lot more doing their inner work now, I believe, than probably ever was throughout the history of the world. I mean, the Earth is positioned so nicely with the its ascension and our galaxy's ascension. And so, with all of the light that's coming in, it's hard in a way not to do your own interpersonal work. I find I find myself analyzing, well, why did I say that? Like what's going on with me? Moments more than there's not those moments in my life. And that's what this show's about. And for those of you just tuning in, Ascension Stories really started with the heart that those that hear these stories will be uplifted in some way. And that if you are hearing this right now, it's because your guides have led you here. And just to have the ability to hear somebody else's story where they're on the same path, working the puzzle, working out their life and their soul, and all of the beautiful chaos that goes along with an ascending planet. So, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. And Carol, so I always ask everybody, how did you get to this point? What sort of spiritual momentum came knocking at your door to get you here today?
Well, I always, when I have to focus on one thing, I just say I developed breast cancer on a particular I was 44 years old. I was in 1990. And I just said, okay, that's my wake up call. I didn't even hesitate. I said, I'm certainly not afraid of dying, but I certainly always said when I was going to start paying attention to my spiritual development. And now here I am 44 and I've done all my career development and I've done zero spiritual development. So I feel that was my wake up call. And I started then.
Did you find yourself called to any particular religion or form of spirituality?
No, it was going to be a path, and my background was very liberal. My father was came from a town where the church in the town in Massachusetts, the only church was a Unitarian church. So that gave me a very, very broad background and to open spiritual questioning and accept any teacher or master. Um, but it was intellectual. It was more than spiritual, the way it was observed in my home. And my mother appreciated that, but she had had years as a Christian Scientist, and that helped me a lot too, because she was on the mystical side of the disease. And but she would go to a doctor to get treatment. If a doctor had a treatment for a disease, she would go there. If it didn't, she'd use prayer. And that was very liberal to me because she was not bound by this using doctors as a mistake, using medicine as a mistake, especially since I ended up in the medical field. But but uh, but it opened my mind always that disease was more in the mind than it was in the body, and was I didn't think of it as first and last. But of course, the minute I started to think about it as a spiritual person, I said, and the breast cancer I knew I'd brought to myself. I absolutely knew that. And that it was from inattention to signals I had been getting
Mhm.
about nurturance and taking care of things. And so I wanted to do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so happy that you are here and your journey has brought you still with us as a beautiful soul and light on earth. That just warms my heart. I'm very happy. What sort of nurturing did you feel that you were missing at that time?
Well, I had. my parents were older parents, and they were very appreciative the fact that I was a kid who wanted to take care of myself, and I was very proud that I was going to take care of myself. But at the age of 9, my mother kind of said, I'm kind of done raising you, and and I'm glad you can take care of yourself. And I took it too seriously. I really, really needed more nurturance, and also there some issues. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a nervous kid, and I was a very serious child, and I needed to know how to play and to do things a little looser. And instead, I just latched on to, oh, I'm in charge of myself, and I'm going to go be an adult. And I just started adulthood at 9, basically. Took on a lot
Mhm.
of
Wow.
responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, that inner child of yours and needing
I
nourishing.
did the nurturance, yeah,
Yeah.
like most people, but I
Oh,
just
yeah, I can relate to that too,
pay
and feeling,
attention again.
yeah, and at 9 as well.
Yeah, I
At
remember the
9,
day. I was pleased and honored. I had no idea what the cost was.
yeah, I remember I grew up really fast at 9 years old too. And, the world shifts for you and you start to, it's like you forget, right? You forget how to play. And as a child myself, I was very serious. As a kid, I'm like, this world needs help. I always felt like that from when I was a little girl. Like I needed to help the world and care give, right? And not play and take things too seriously. And even now, I'm like, oh, I have to play. Spirit tells me to play. Relax, loosen up, have some fun.
Yeah,
So I get
yeah.
that. And so moving into your further adulthood, did you take either Christian Science or Unitarian own, or did you do something different?
Uh, yeah, no, I took local, my parents were very happy. Went to local churches, as they said, to learn the background, this kind of thing, to learn the Bible, to whatever. And then I started college that way also. I actually was teaching Sunday school my freshman year at Cornell University. I was very serious about it. I said, I don't want to go to college and forget all my background. I want to stay spiritual. And that lasted 1 year. And then I became a typical college kid, really me. And I forgot all of that and became probably agnostic. I would have said agnostic. I certainly wasn't looking around for the spirituality in college or graduate school. Yeah, at all. Yeah.
And then after your turning point when you were 44, did you go back to any of what you had when you were upbringing?
No, I actually picked up mysticism. I
Oh,
felt that the transcendentalism of Unitarianism was what had spoken to me, and that also was from Massachusetts. And I really was immediately taken by mysticism and uh, started finding it in. I picked a bridge person who was Carolyn Mace, who was doing medical intuition, and was in the medical field doing research. Only I had changed over to health policy from that, but I was still in a medical school on the faculty, so I really was in that environment. And I said, she's a mystic. She's uh, been tested for how accurate she is, which was probably very important to my scientific mind as I left. And and she was alive and available for me to go hear and talk to and things like that. So I appreciated that. And of course, I had no intuition. No, that's not true. Wasn't a medical intuitive. She really, we didn't hit it off. It didn't work out. But that took me into along a path of, well, it's mysticism that I'm looking for. I'm looking to alleviate the objective scientific methodology and all that kind of thing. I want to get into intuition, but how do you do that? Uh, and I started meditating and doing Hinduism with Ram Dass and Buddhism with uh, Spirit Rock over here, which is Western Buddhism. It's Theravadan Buddhism, but it's very westernized. as is Ram Dass's Hinduism with bhakti, which was very important because that was love, and that was what was missing. And I mean, immediately got the nurturance connection right away with the bhakti Hinduism, and said, "Oh, this is what was missing. It just wasn't being expressed. Not that they didn't love me, not that they weren't loving, but I just wasn't getting it." And so I just went that route, and that took me deeper into myself, into my inner reality, and in there, and finally started doing the Ascension with uh, first of all, Course in Miracles, which was a book that was channeled, and that introduced me to non-physical entities, and that's where it started for me. And of course, I ended up with Cesar. That the rest is history type thing.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful story. Like, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm a Course in Miracles fan
It was
myself.
very important bridge work for a lot of us.
Hmm. Yeah. And yeah, coming from a Bible background, I was, and then moved into mysticism of my own. And actually, The Secret movie is what turned the switch for me a little bit, coming from Christianity
Mhm.
to The Secret, and then thinking, like, oh, I always knew there was more. Like, I always knew there was more, and had, paranormal and UFO experiences throughout my life, and just denied it all, shoved it down,
Wow.
shoved it in the closet. Um, and of course, in Miracles, you are so right. It is that bridge, that we can use, and the language is very similar for someone who's into the Bible, with the King James version, and how Course in Miracles has that
But the
same.
reality is gone.
Hmm.
And I actually said to
Yeah,
myself, if the end of this book, I still think a table is a table is a table, then it'll be true. And instead, I opened the first page and I said, it just vibrated all through me. This is the truth. And I didn't understand it. And I
yeah,
said, wow, do I have a lot to do? And of course, so reading it was this revelations every day. Revelation, revelation. Of course, the table was gone by about the third chapter. There was no such thing as a table. And I said, and I'm comfortable here. I'm perfectly comfortable here. I'm just trying to understand the language. That was my only problem.
yeah.
It
And
was
then
beautiful.
I know I have a tattoo in my arm, which is the first line of that book that says, I have to read it, "Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God."
That was
And
what I knew, that was the truth, and I didn't
mhm,
understand it, and I knew I didn't understand it, and I didn't. You know, it really, that is profound, and it took a while to understand all of it. Yeah.
yeah, it still does.
Yeah.
So, as you're moving through your journey and
Mhm.
your work, what does ascension mean to you?
Well, the quickie thing is always, and then when you're talking to somebody who knows, you just say, oh, we just need a higher frequency here. You know, I just need to get into a higher frequency. But what does that mean? That means nothing to people who don't know frequency. But once you are aware of the energy, the feeling of the energy that people have, or that you have, you start to realize it's gradated. There's lower frequency of energy coming off of them, or there's higher frequency of energy. And it's energy starts to be associated with different situations, different visions, different books, different pictures, different whatever. And you start to realize ascension is all about taking those feelings and just saying, I want to move up to the higher frequencies and live there. And I don't need the lower frequencies, and they go away as you ascend and go up. And that's the gift is, oh, I don't need to be worried about. I wish I could remember the Course in Miracles quote as well as you do. I mean, I just don't need all that unreal stuff. I can create and go with these higher frequencies and move up, up, up. And the opening of the heart, the expansion of the heart, and the energy that flows in to fill it is to me the criterion of whether the ascension is happening as you go. I mean, you just feel the heart expanding with all this energy of higher frequency that you feel around you, and it just doesn't stop. And that just is an amazing realization that your heart expands without stopping, and your soul becomes your corridor to your soul and your light body and everything and all of your incarnations and everything else. And you're just, whoa, so much bigger than you ever imagined, could not imagine. And that's ascension. And that's what we're living in with Cesar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I want to pause here for a moment because I can feel that heart expansion, um, radiating love coming from just what you said. So
Unconditional cosmic love.
unconditional cosmic love. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to join me, we'll just pause. Feel free to close your eyes and really imagine that heart centered, unconditional cosmic love through the expansion of what we know to be these higher frequencies of love from an earth and a human population that's ascending. Carol, thank you so much for that moment of love that you brought to us and everybody here through your story. And it's an honor to bear witness to the beautiful journey that you are on. And I'm so lucky to be your friend and to have met you not too long ago, a little blip ago.
Well,
Um,
we've known each other for eons. You know
oh
that.
yeah, I know. And when you can feel that, and that's just like, oh, Zoom hugs. So excited. One day I'll meet you in person. One day soon.
Yeah, North
Um,
Carolina. Mhm.
oh, yes, North Carolina. Yep, Sazar's retreat. I will be there for sure. Um, would you like to tell our audience about what you do and how you assist the greater humanity or serve?
Well, what I found out rather late in life was that I am a healer. We all are, and in the Christian Science thing, we all make our own diseases. We all can cure our own diseases. So it wasn't that far, but I started having experiences, quantum healing of my own diseases. And I thought that's pretty neat. It never occurred to me I might be able to do that for somebody else. Um, and then started Ascension, and in eye gazing with someone, I opened my heart, which we weren't asked to do. We were just asked to eye gaze. And I just said, it just was so natural to see the soul of someone else through their eyes and just, I'm going to expand, open my heart. And with that, the woman stepped back, who was a practitioner, spiritual practitioner herself, and said, "Oh my God, I'm healed." I said, and I thought, I didn't even know she was sick, and whatever went on, but we had to move. So I didn't find out details. I found it was a retreat. So I got to talk to her later, but not 4 hours later, we were eye gazing with someone else. And and then I came to the point, I said, now I'm going to open my heart. It can't hurt them. And so I'm going to open my heart. Open my heart. And he said, I'm healed. And I had heard talking at lunch, so I knew what his issue was. And I had said to myself, he just needs a little bit of more therapy. He's not, it's clear what's left for him to heal. But I wasn't trying to do it. I just opened my heart because I didn't think I had any powers to take care of what was the issue there. And he described to me what he felt, as did the woman later. And he got the exact correction that I was sitting there at the table thinking, oh, he just needs the such and such correction, which is, not such a, we do it all the time. Our inner child's getting corrected and getting the proper mother that we didn't get and forgiving. The Course in Miracles, the big message is forgive, forgive. And he hadn't forgotten to give his mother, and he was, and her child was still tied up. And I said, well, this one, and all I did was open my heart. I did not assign any of the healing to him. And I said, whoa, that when it happens to you twice,
Yeah.
I something's going on, and I'm trying to be told that it's not just I can heal myself, but that I can heal others. And it was Zazar who actually said, come on, how about what do you think your mission is? And I said, well, ever since I knew I was going to have this session with you, this light has been pouring into me. And I just think this light is for healing. And I'm supposed to be this light healer. And he said, uh-huh. And he started to unfold for me what was going on in my life. Not that he would made it up, but it was coming to me. And that so there are many healers out there with many more years of experience. I'm almost 80 years old. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have worked with my Reiki master took me on, who I was going to as a practitioner. She took me on. She said, "You've got so much natural healing in you. You've got so much going on with you. I know your guides. I know this. You're gonna go through the Reiki master course and all that." And my challenge has been this is multidimensional healing. It's really it's a because of the new light that's coming into the earth with the ascension of the earth, the light I'm getting is activating chi in an unusual way and is more powerful and can do more things. So I'm starting as a Reiki training and Reiki healer, but I'm going into multidimensional healing, which is a new modality. It's going to heal a lot more because a lot more things are going to come up as we ascend, and we're
Mhm.
going to have to heal them to keep up with the earth and her ascension.
Yeah. And the student is the teacher as well. So, um, Carol, thank you so much. Would you like me to share an email address with our
I'm
viewers,
ready
or are you not
for,
ready? Okay.
yeah, if anybody's interested, they can do carol.corenbrot@gmail. And I'm
Okay.
glad to mutually explore what might be helpful to people because I've been told to do this, as you know. And so I do open myself up. I have healed, I have worked with a number of people, but I'm not presenting myself as someone who's finished her Reiki training. She's not a master. She's very much on the path, and it doesn't hurt. That's one thing I found out. This energy cannot hurt people, and I'm just a
Mhm.
conduit for it. I don't manipulate it or your disease or your issue or whatever it is in any way. I just offer this amazing, powerful light that comes through to people, and there's a far better master teacher up there that is behind all this for me.
Which is still your soul, right?
Yes, it is. It is. She's a light healer from another incarnation, and she's got divine source working there with her.
Yeah,
So
and feel that. That's beautiful and just wonderful. Carol, thank you again
thank
for this
you.
conversation. Of course, Mila, and um, we'll see you in a few months in
Yes,
person.
in person. I look forward to
Great.
that so much, Candice. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This is Ascension Stories, and I am your host, Candice Davis.